I was going through a movie selection last weekend and I stopped at this 2002 movie by Denzel Washington called John Q. Have you seen that movie? Hi, I'm Paul from Money Made Simple. You see, when I was watching John Q, I forgot how good Denzel Washington and the story were. But I wondered if the movie will work if it was in Canada. The film follows John Q. Archibald, an average factory worker whose young son Mike collapses and is diagnosed with a severe heart condition, requiring an immediate heart transplant. Ano nga ba nangyari? Ba't sila nagkaganon? Well, there was the group insurance failure where John has an employee group insurance plan, but his employer switched carriers, o bagong insurance company, so the new plan didn't cover his son's sickness. Then there's the huge bill for the transplant and demanded a large down payment before placing his son on the donor list. Then there was John's appeal that was denied, the frantic fundraising that failed, and the hospital preparing his son's discharge because they can't pay. So the entire crisis is built on the fact that healthcare is treated as a service dependent on one's ability to pay. Just like sa Pinas, di ba? Well, kung dito nangyari yun sa Canada, the initial devastating crisis would be fundamentally avoided dahil sa universal healthcare system provided by the provincial tax dollars. Maybe the movie would have lasted 15 minutes? Pero, the Canadian system could still create stress. First and foremost, the waiting time. John's stress would revolve around the wait for a donor organ, which can be lengthy and medically agonizing. Then there are the non-covered costs, the private or semi-private hospital rooms, the medicine outside the hospital if Mike needed costly prescription medicines that are not covered by his provincial drug plan or his workplace group plan. Then there's the lost wages, remember? John was just frantic going around asking for money. Well, John would still face the problem of lost income while taking time off to be with his son. But a strong workplace disability insurance plan could help this. Dito sa Canada, pwede naman maiwasan yan. The financial crisis in John Q could have been avoided by securing portable individual coverage that does not disappear when you lose your job. So never rely on just group insurance. Group policies are convenient, but they are temporary. They are controlled by your employer and vanish if you leave the company. Also, secure a personal policy and your own individual disability insurance policy. These are portable, permanent, and pay out directly to you regardless of your employer's plan. You should also protect your income, not just your health. Ensure you have a disability coverage that protects your salary if you are unable to work due to illness, injury, or needing to take care of your sick child. The ability to pay your mortgage is critical, regardless of who pays the hospital bill. And build an emergency fund for non-medical crisis. Building an emergency savings fund that would last 3 to 6 months of living expenses is very important. This protects you from economic shock of unemployment, unexpected caregiving leave, or a downturn keeping you out of the desperation. The fundamental Canadian lesson is that while the public system removes the financial barrier to treatment, you are still responsible for protecting your income and filling the gaps that keep your family financially secure during a health crisis. Oh, diba? Ganon siya sa tunay na buhay. Anyway, if you think there's value in what I shared today, feel free to send it to someone who needs to know. I'm Paul from Money Made Simple. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next one.